Welcome everyone to the fifth round of Norway Chess 2026. We have Grandmaster Wesley So coming in, one of the most kind Grandmasters in the world of chess. Wesley has been very active this period in chess. He first played in Warsaw, then in Bucharest, and now in Norway. It's a long trip for him, but he looks in good spirits. He's playing good chess, and it's wonderful to see him back in great shape. Meanwhile, Magnus is here and is giving his interviews. Let's hear him.
A little bit of everything, but I had a very nice, relaxing morning, afternoon today.
Earlier in the confessional booth, you mentioned that you feel like a cop. How do you feel now? Is that past?
Yeah, I do a lot of. I've made a lot of mistakes, especially with a little time, but hopefully, last game was a step in the right direction, and then continue along that path.
Yeah, and Magnus is looking forward to playing some of his best chess, and when he does that, it's a sheer joy for the chess world to see him in action. You can see a new sponsor on Magnus's shirt, Cohere. This is something that we haven't seen. There is chess.com, there's Betsby, there's Team Liquid. All of these have been seen before. Maybe one of the most well recognized figures in the world of chess and in the sporting world, Magnus Carlsen. Let's go now. He beat Gukesh in the previous round against Wesley. He has had good score, but Wesley also has had his share of victories against Magnus. And Magnus does not take the pawn back. He's like, okay, this move that has been made on the board, I'll let it be. So he presses the clock, pawn to e4, and moves away. Now Wesley So pushes his pawn to e5 and presses the clock. e4, e5 between two great players. This is going to be fun. Knight to f3. And Wesley So, well, he'll go knight c6, presses the clock. And will we see the Italian or the Spanish? We see the Italian by Magnus with bishop c4. A fighting weapon. When you want to win, you play the Italian because it leads to slow games. It leads to games where you can build up a position with plenty of chances for both sides to outplay each other, which is why this is becoming more and more popular at top level. d3 played, and now bishop c5 is what I'm expecting Wesley to play. Of course, there are other moves like bishop e7, but yes, he goes bishop c5. This is the most played move. Bishop to g5 played by Magnus. He plays it quickly, and the thing is that this move comes with a lot of responsibility if you think about it. So you're putting your bishop on the side. You don't want to take the knight, of course, and when it comes to g3, it will be blocked by this really solid pawns. And so that does create chances for both sides. And I'm super excited that Magnus has gone for this setup. c3. Okay. With the idea of pushing d4 at some point and b4. So Wesley stops the b4 with a5. White castles. And Wesley can also castle. Although to play g5, you want to do it without castling sometimes. He castles. Carefully places his rook and king. And now Magnus brings his knight out to d2. Okay, what is Wesley going to play next? Do you want to go g5? I'm a bit scared after castling because you can sacrifice a piece. He goes bishop a7. He takes his bishop away from that square on c5 where it could get hit directly with a d4 break. Just puts it away. Pawn to a4, equalizing the space on the queen side. And now g5 is the move that Black can play, but there's also other moves. Well, he goes g5. Wesley's like, Magnus, if you want to take, I'm happy with this position. There's no attack. I can get rook h8, so I'm okay. So Magnus goes bishop to g3 almost instantly. King comes up to g7. Now, let's look at this position carefully and understand what's happening. There is a hole on f5, weaknesses around the black king, but it's not so easy for white pieces to reach it. Magnus may also want to push d4, takes e5, open up the position so that he can attack black's king. But you will see Wesley goes g4 and he hits the knight. Now the knight has to move, knight h4. I mean, imagine this knight settling down here. Okay, there's a bishop, so maybe you want to bring the other knight. That could be the idea. Now knight h5, attacking the bishop, but also getting ready to bring the queen in. Knight f1, Magnus is bringing his knight here and here. Okay, getting exciting. This game is getting super thrilling. Queen g5 played by Wesley So. He brings his queen in a good position and hopefully he'll try to break with f5 at the right time. Knight e3. Okay, good or bad, just take this knight. I mean, you can't allow a knight like this to come to f5. That would be a bit too much. So he takes it. Bishop takes e3. And now, I guess if fe3, it's possible, but rook e3 makes so much sense because later you want to push f3 and open up the king. Knight jumps to f4 for Wesley So. He's got his knight into a good position. It's looking at all these squares. And queen e1 is a lovely move because you defend the rook and you're preparing the move f3. Wesley finishes his development and goes bishop to c4. If you take here, I think fe6 is to black's benefit because the rook opens up. So let's see what Magnus does here. Maybe he puts his bishop on b5. No, he goes f3. He's like, okay, if you want to take, you can. Be my guest, Wesley. f3. Now, important, if you take here, rook takes f3 and white is just almost winning this game. That's how weak the king is. So h5, you need this pawn on g4. If you take back with the pawn. Let this pawn take away all these key squares. So bishop b5 played by Magnus. And how about actually moving your knight away? That's what Wesley does. And he tells Magnus that I'm going c6 next. What is your bishop doing here? But Magnus pushes forward d4, opening up the diagonal of the bishop to come back. Pawn to f6, a very solid move. And as the game heats up, Magnus is thinking, where should his next bit of counterplay, or you can say play, come from? He goes rook d1 and Wesley brings his knight here. Of course, you want to trade the knights. That does make sense. Knight takes, queen takes, or just knight takes back with the idea of perhaps h4. But Magnus, he doesn't take. He goes rook d2. Bit of surprise. He's letting Wesley take here because bishop h4 he gets. Rook f7. Planning to double down the f file. King comes to h1. And king goes to h7. Rook could go to g8. If you think about it, in this position only one pair of minor pieces have been traded. Bishop goes back to d7. And Magnus can capture Wesley's bishop. He takes it. Time-wise, Magnus is lagging behind a bit. He's on 22 minutes. Wesley has 36 minutes. Rook takes d7. And knight to f5 played. So Magnus very happy that he got his knight finally into a good position. But Wesley has his answer prepared. He was ready to meet it with knight e7 to trade off another piece. Bishop goes to h4, attacking the queen and the pawn. Queen g6 is forced. Wesley comes back. he basically has had a move prepared for each one of Magnus's ideas. Knight goes to g3. Now Magnus is getting a bit too ambitious. I mean, coming back here would have been better, but now queen h6, nicely played. Looking here, you can't jump here, I'll simply take it. So Magnus goes c4, and maybe here getting the rook to f8, the final piece joins in the game. And f5 could be on the cards. Rook to b3 by Magnus Carlsen, attacking the b7 pawn. And now maybe Wesley has missed this last move, because Magnus is in trouble. Yes, Magnus has missed the last move, not Wesley. Knight takes h4 is a threat. This is under pressure. Knight f1 defends the rook, also opens up the queen to the bishop. Take. Queen takes. Magnus has just 5 minutes on the clock. Wesley has 22. And f5, can he find it? To put more pressure, no, he plays f5, queen e1, fe4. Brilliant chess. Queen takes e4. Played here, and now knight g6. He could have moved the king, but knight g6 is completely fine. And don't even think about taking here. G takes f3 is going to spoil your structure completely. So he goes g3, taking into control the f4 square. Rook f7, attacking the pawn. Rook f2 defends it, but it opens up this path to the queen. Queen enters into c1. Oh my god, what a game by Wesley So. He's playing insanely well. King g2, Magnus has 2 minutes on the clock. Wesley has 17, and Wesley now chops off the f3 pawn. How is Wesley playing so well and so confidently? He's doing it beautifully. Okay, rook takes f3. You have to take, and if pawn takes here, then a very important move now is king h3. You must play it. But Magnus goes rook f3, and this is a terrible move. I think Magnus has simply missed that queen takes b2, king h3, and queen d4 is coming. You can see Magnus looking at the screen. When is my 10 seconds starting? He's down to 1 minute 41 seconds. He's on move 39. Takes with a check. King h3 played. But the move that has been missed by Magnus, and Wesley, if he plays it, he'll be winning. Queen d4. That is an epic move. He plays it. And Magnus Carlsen, you could see his expression changing here. He's shaking his head. Queen takes d4. E takes d4. The look of a man who knows that the writing is on the wall. He captures the rook. But the endgame is just sheerly bad, because if you count the number of pawns, black has 6, white has 5. King g2 by Magnus. Well, even an endgame virtuoso like him can do nothing here. Black pawns are just so good. Even this pawn on a4 is so weak. Wesley goes knight e5, keeping c4 under control. d3 and f3. h3 played. And now let's bring the king in. King g6. King f2. King f5 maybe. He goes king g5. Where to break is also a question for Wesley. Magnus goes king f1. And Wesley goes back king f6. Because when you have less time on the clock, to find a winning plan may not be easy. Magnus down to 19 seconds. Wesley has 7 minutes 16 seconds, and he shifts the knight. Now going to b2. He plays it. He attacks c4 and a4. Both are difficult to handle. Knight goes to b3. Should we take here? Should we take here is the question. He goes king e5. He doesn't even take it. King e5. And knight takes pawn. Maybe there's b6. So as to protect this pawn, and then either take here or even take on c4. Oh, he finds king e4. He's going d3 maybe. g4. Magnus tries to create a passer. hg. hg. And now b6. He goes d3 check. King d2. And now b6. Wonderful move. And the threat is, if you move the knight, knight takes c4 is hanging. d5 is hanging. everything. And look at Magnus there. And Wesley is like, what? King c3. That was a moment. I think Magnus got disturbed by someone in the crowd, or maybe he was just so unhappy with his thinking. King c3, just d2 is game over, because knight takes d2, knight takes d2, king takes d2, and I take king d5, and my king can then just stop the g pawn. I have 2 extra pawns. d2 played, and Magnus comes back with his king. But now just king takes d5. This works. Wesley So is winning this game. g5, Magnus pushes forward. But simply king e5, an insane play by Wesley. I think one of his best games. The accuracy of this game was so high. Magnus actually literally had no chance right from the opening in this one. He shakes hands, resigns there. Third classical loss for Magnus in this tournament out of 5 rounds. Losing to Firouzja, then losing to Pragg, and now to Wesley So. And I must say this one was a dominating win for Wesley, because Magnus didn't even put a foot wrong here, and Wesley simply outplayed him. Let's look at what happened outside when Wesley met all his fans.
Give it away, please. Please.
Yes, yes, it's okay, please.
Give it away, please.
He wants to be alone, so don't rush. Gukesh येईल आता तिकडनं येईल. To him. To whom?
Yeah. Obviously.
Can I find the parents?
On the cap.
Have a picture?
Yeah.
Thank you. Skal du ta bilde med Wesley? Ja, da bare hvis du går nærmere.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can I take a picture?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Can I take a
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
the gift. Thank you.
Can I take a picture with you?
Sure. Thanks for it.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Good. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.